Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. It's Elektra Yao, artist visa lawyer. I have offices in New York and New Jersey, and I'm here to talk to you every day, every week about the artist visa, about the business of the arts, artist green cards, and overall how to navigate your artist career. So let's first talk about the artist visa. The artist visa is a professional work visa for artists that allows you to work legally in the States on different projects. Right? You can work for companies, you can work for projects, you can work for private individuals. It's a pretty unique and complex visa for artists, creatives, performers, and entertainers. Now, there's different components to the artist visa. You have immigration forms, you have a letter of no objection from a labor union or a management organization. You've got future contracts. They can also be known as deal memos. They can also be known as letters of intent or offer letters. You have all different types of documentary support that goes into the artist visa petition. Now, one of the things or one of the components of the artist visa petition is the portfolio. So your artistic portfolio is the main sort of evidence to describe your artistry to USCIS. So for those who are visual artists, who are designers, you might already have a portfolio. You might have an ensemble of documents of your work to prove to a specific employer the types of work that you have done. And this is a really great start to begin your portfolio. However, it is not something that you would use for your artist visa petition just because it doesn't really focus on your process as an artist or a creative person. Now, our portfolios in my firm, they're very, very detailed and very, very specific because I want the client to get into the mentality of the officer reading the petition or analyzing the petition has no sort of artistic background in the sense that they don't really know anything about your field of endeavor, right? They're not experts on every facet of the arts. Remember, arts visas, they're for all different types of creative and artistic professionals. So anyone from a performer to a dancer to a chef to a writer, it is impossible and unreasonable to ask or expect the officer to have an expertise, especially if, for example, you are a specialized performer. Let's say you are specialized in accents. I once did a performer and a voiceover accent. Hi, Kerwin. Thank you for joining on Instagram. Thank you, everybody on Facebook, on Twitter for watching us. I once had a client who was specialized in accents. You really can't expect the officer to have a unique understanding of a voiceover artist specialized in British accents. So the officer does not have the same background or artistic expertise that you do, which means that if you present a portfolio of just pictures, right? You're just including, let's say you're a filmmaker, you're just including stills of your film, that really doesn't provide context into what you do and doesn't really show anything. It's just pictures. It's just as if the officer is looking through a picture book or as if the officer is just scrolling images online. It's not really helpful. Doesn't really speak to why you are an expert and how you are an expert. The only way to prove your expertise is to go into details. There's an expression in English that say the devil is in the details. You need to focus on the details. Very often I'm meeting with people, I'm consulting with people, we're developing our portfolios together, and the client is like, well, I don't have this. Well, I didn't know I should save this. Now is the time for you to save everything. So we're going to talk about what goes into your artistic portfolio for the O-1 visa, not your portfolio in real life to your employers, to jobs that you're submitting. We're talking about the O-1 artist portfolio. Let's get into it. So when you work with our firm, we give you a list of all the documents that you need to develop the portfolio to tell your story. Conceptually, start to think of your portfolio as you telling the story of what your artistic expertise is to the officer. So it has an arc, it has a beginning, a middle, and the end. And every single aspect of the portfolio, because in our firm, we divide them into specific projects, has a beginning, middle, and end. So let's take a film, for example, right? Let's say you are the filmmaker. So when you start a film, you've got pre-production, you've got production, and you've got post, right? You've got these aspects of the film that have to go through different phases. Otherwise, you're not going to have your film. So in our portfolios, I like to follow that same sort of arc. I like to see in the beginning, do you have a budget? Do you have emails? Do you have an offer letter? Do you have negotiations on your position? This is all pre-production. This is all the beginning of the story that we're telling. Do you have storyboard notes? Do you have work notes? All of that goes into, let's say, the pre-production. I'm just helping you trying to understand what we're looking for when we're telling your story with the O-1 petition. Then you go into the actual production. So the actual production, you're going to have call sheets. You're going to have notes from your director, whether they're handwritten notes or you take notes on your iPhone or your iPad. Those are work notes. You're going to have what we call behind the scenes pictures. So like, let's say you're a gaffer, or let's say you're a boomer, whatever it is, you're going to have pictures of somebody taking of you behind the scenes to show that you're actually working on the production. Otherwise, like I said, the final product, especially if you're a behind the scenes girl or guy, the final product is just going to be the finalized still of the film. Nobody's going to know that you're the one who did the lighting, who organized the sound, unless we actually see it. So think of it as seeing is believing, especially if you are a behind the scenes gal or guy. We need to see you working on the production so that we can prove to USAS it actually happened. Think about it. If you're not an expert in film, if you don't know the intricacies that go behind creating a mise en scène, you're not going to understand that there was a gaffer there who was creating like that subdued light. You're just not going to know it because you're not a part of the film industry. That's why we need to see you, the gaffer, in a behind the scenes shot with your lighting materials, maybe talking to the director, maybe trying to illustrate your vision for the scene. That's why we need to see your work notes. That's why we need to see blocking notes if you have. And then after the production is over, you're in post. So maybe you've got the director or the producer posting marketing posts on their Instagram or their social media. Maybe the film has been entered into the festival circuit and you've got all these confirmation letters, or you've got these different laurels that prove that the film has been accepted within the festival. Maybe you attended the premiere, or maybe there was a screening of the film. You're going to have a picture of you at the premiere of the film that you worked on. Maybe there was press about the film. Then that press, even if it doesn't mention you, remember, we're not trying to argue your press right now. We're trying to argue the film, the work that you did on the film. Even if it doesn't mention you, that is evidence about the film that you worked on. It proves that it exists. It proves that it happened. Maybe, for example, the film has the credit page, right? Your credit page would have your name and the title of the role that you had within the film, gaffer, boomer, whatever it is. You would include the credit page. And also, what is most important for me and how I work is we need to really show the officer beyond the actual pictures of you on set. We need to see the output of your work. We need to see what your extensive efforts yielded. So I like to include a still of the film or a couple stills of the film that really exemplify your work. So let's say, for example, you're a gaffer and you created this intimate lighting setting for a really important part of the film. So you're going to have your still of your film, and then you're going to have a caption explaining in plain language, not in industry terms, but explaining in plain language what you did in that set. So think of it as somebody who's not a part of the film industry. You're essentially looking at work notes, call sheets, behind the scenes pictures, social media posts, evidence list, shot list, budget, credit page, stills from the scene, laurels from the film. You're looking at all of this evidence to prove that the person actually did what he did or what she did, and you've got the finalized images to showcase the expertise. This is how the portfolio has to be drafted, or this is how I like to see portfolios, and this is how we architect portfolios in our firm, because it is important, very important, to show the details in the work that you have created. If you don't have that level of specificity, that really makes a difference between a winning case and a losing case. I do not look for 20 films that you've done or 20 projects that you've done. It is not about quantity. It is about quality, and quality is in the details of the portfolio. So We talked about a lot of different types of evidence. I'm just going to list it off just so that you have sort of an idea of what to include. So we're looking at call sheets, we're looking at stills from the film, we're looking at your credit page, we're looking at your shot list, we're looking at your work notes, we're looking at emails, we're looking at your offer letter, we're looking at payment if you got paid. Doesn't matter how much you got paid. I'm not looking to see that you made $1 million on the film. I'm just looking to see additional proof that you actually worked on that film. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you have an idea now of what you need to save. The short answer is you should save everything. You are not at the point, or you should not be at the point where you are curating the evidence. Those are legal strategic decisions that should be made by the attorney. So at this point in your O-1 journey, you should be saving, 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 saving. You should not have the discerning eye to say, I don't need this, I don't need that, because the attorney or me, I will see something in your evidence that I will want to include in the petition to really make you stand out. Our goal is to tell your unique story so that you stand out and that you get an approval without an RFE. RFEs do happen, but it's important to try to minimize them by giving your best good faith effort at that underlying initial petition. So I hope that this was helpful. I want to say congratulations to all of our recent approvals, approved without RFEs, approvals in 3 weeks without premium processing. So if you're thinking about beginning your artist journey, give us a call. We'd be happy to help you. If not, continue to follow me on social media. Continue to look at our social media posts and our videos and our TikTok for immigration tips and information. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I will see you later.